Trick or treat!
You're listening to Dead Candy, dedicated entertainment for the dead.
Spoiler alert, Slash's Paradise encourages viewers to watch these horror films before listening to our show. Danny and Lance will go through everything, including filmmaking, dialogue, characters, and even full scene breakdowns when we get excited. Enjoy the show.
I'm going to say 4 words to you, Mr. Gonzalez, and I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
You ready?
Shoot.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Well, that makes me think of a hot pile of steaming shit put through a spaghetti strainer in the middle of a desert.
Welcome to Slash's Paradise. All right, well done. Welcome to Slash's Paradise. That's Danny. I'm Lance.
Was that too harsh?
We're going to hell tonight.
Yeah, well, great.
It's no longer Friday the 13th. It's
No.
Jason Goes to Hell.
It looks like we're just going to try and get the people to come watch another Friday the 13th movie, but not by name or title. Let's just try and rope them in by saying, hey, Jason's in this movie. Come watch it. Jason.
And, I mean, kind of, not really. People did watch it.
People did watch it. A little bit of a break from the last Friday that we saw. But, folks, if you're caught up, the last Friday the 13th that we talked about, Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Goes to Hell, is the last, for a while, to be owned by Paramount.
Yes, the fully functional Paramount Friday the 13th relationship has ended. And Paramount has decided to give up the character of Jason Voorhees only to New Line Cinema.
Well, would you look at that?
So for years already, we've talked about this the last few episodes, Paramount was ready to have some sort of relationship with New Line Cinema so that they could finally make the Freddy versus Jason movie. But we couldn't make a deal happen. And so Paramount gave up and said, we're not making as much money as we used to. Go ahead and take Jason off our hands. Do what you need to do. This was all on Sean S. Cunningham, by the way, who had gone over to New Line Cinema and talked the company basically into buying the rights for at least Jason. So Sean S. Cunningham, part of the original Friday the 13th, is a part of this deal, and that's the reason that Jason is now in line with New Line and Freddy Krueger.
It's a new line. Yes, it is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, folks, I don't like to talk a bunch of shit, but I am going to for this movie. This is really tough for anyone who has been a fan of the Friday the 13th franchise up to date. And, you know, I'm going to say, like, quite honestly, there has been, even in part 5, something to find some small minutia of a redeeming point in the entire franchise or in that movie as it relates to the franchise.
Yeah.
I don't see it here, honestly. Like I'm going to have a hard time. I always find a way, but I'm going to have a hard time speaking well of this movie as it relates to the Friday the 13th franchise. That's what I'm going to say.
That's an amazing point, because as I was watching this movie for particularly this podcast, not trying to bring anything else into this podcast, I was like, okay, let's de-objectify this. It's not a Friday the 13th movie. Let's look at it as a horror film as a whole. Even that is kind of rough to kind of bring to the table. I don't want to get to the point of this. I want to take care of business before we
Let's
go
take care of some
anywhere.
business. You got to put some hustle behind this muscle.
That's right. So
Yeah, you know why I said that.
So
You all will know why I said that.
we like to play a little game here in Slasher's Paradise called the slash word. Danny, what is the slash word?
Lance, the slash word is Slasher's Paradise's version of the popular game Password, wherein if you, the listener, the slashers, hear the slash word being said throughout the episode, you take a drink of your favorite beverage of choice. And folks, it is Jason Goes to Hell, and we might as well just go ahead and put our stamp of alcoholic beverage for this one.
Absolutely, guaranteed. Yeah. For every slash word, we usually have a caller, a special guest caller into Slasher's Paradise. Tonight, calling in, Danny, who do we have?
Well, I just want to say that I am so much, very much, extremely excited that we were able to get this individual to call in for the slash word today, Lance. I've been able to use a lot of my connections to get this person to come, to get people to come in, but I'm going to tell you that this one, you're going to have to follow me a little bit on how this connects. So we have someone in this film that plays the coroner for the initial autopsy of Jason, played by the very talented Richard Grant. Okay, so Richard Grant is also well known from another movie of a very other popular franchise, not horror related, but he plays Mr. George Washington Duke from Rocky 5. And so I used that connection and I called it in, folks. We have Rocky Balboa calling in with the slash
Oh my
word.
goodness.
Yep. We have Rocky Balfucking-boa calling in with the slash word today.
I did not know where that was going. I thought, okay, Rocky Balboa, you are on the line for tonight's slash word. Go ahead and give it to our listeners.
Hey, yo, this is Rocky Balboa, and I was going to give you the slash word for today. And the slash word is hell. Like, you know, I go through hell. I went through hell when I lost Mick. I went through hell when I was done with Duke. And I went through with Adrian on number 2.
All right.
Heck yeah.
Thank you very, very much,
Yeah.
Mr. Rocky Balboa.
Oh,
the
yeah.
champ has come and gone and has left the building.
Champ has left the building.
That's
But
the highlight of this episode.
And good for him, honestly. You don't want to be sticking around, even though the George Washington Duke has to be associated with, and that's not his real name, but I already said his real name, but I'm going to be calling him George Washington Duke, who has put some hustle behind this muscle. Plays the coroner in Jason Goes to Hell. And folks, we're going to jump into this here in a little bit. But we have some more business to get into.
I can't wait to hear this. Danny, what is the pina colada for Jason Goes to Hell?
Jason Goes to Hell's Pina Colada by Danny Gonzalez. Jason is dead. Again. Killed by an FBI task force that has been associated with the destruction of Jason. However, it is being revealed that Jason is not merely flesh and bone, but the epitome of evil. And so when you kill the vessel of Jason Voorhees, the soul, the spirit of evil lives on and will now, in a way of infecting everyone who comes into contact with his remains and then being passed on by slugs, different people get infected with the spirit of Jason. And throughout the movie, that's it. That's the pumpkin. That's the pina colada. Different people are infected with the spirit of Jason. That's it.
That's a tap out if I've ever heard one. The movie was released August 13th, 1993. So we're about 4 years removed from the last time we've seen Jason on the big screen. Budget was $3 million. The box office was $15.9 million. The movie was directed by Adam Marcus, written by Jay Hughley and Dean Lorey, and I think a plethora of other people as well added to this monstrosity. Starring John DeLemay.
Okay.
DeLemay?
I think it's LeMay.
DeLemay?
Sure.
He likes to add the D in there.
Who doesn't?
Carrie Keegan, Steve Williams, and returning to Jason for a cameo, Kane Hodder.
Yeah, I maybe a featured. Like cameo would be like Corey Feldman in Part 5.
I say cameo because he does play Jason for a cameo.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah,
he also does show up without Jason makeup or anything, just as Kane Hodder, as the actor, at some point as well. So
yeah,
it's like a double cameo for Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder and his mullet.
It's a magnetic mullet. It's
magnificent, magnetic.
It's got a nice little curl, so
yeah,
it's a nice, tight, packed-in mullet.
I just would never ever make fun of that mullet to his face.
So I'm going to talk more about the business side of this movie rather than the movie itself.
Go for it.
New Line Cinema. So Sean S. Cunningham has moved over to New Line Cinema, wanted the rights for Jason. This is basically hey, we have Jason now. What do we do with him? We still want to make a Freddy versus Jason. Everything, the stars have aligned, but Wes Craven still wants to make more Nightmare on Elm Streets. We don't know how to land it yet. So go ahead and make a Jason film. Do whatever you want with it, I guess.
So this is because we get Jason Goes to Hell and then eventually Jason X before Freddy versus Jason because Wes ain't done.
We're just kind of waiting. We're waiting for the proper script. More so down the line when Jason X comes around, we're waiting for Wes because he wants one more.
Thank God, because that one more was awesome.
So, yeah. So we are still kind of waiting for Wes. We're kind of waiting to find the right script. Nothing really aligns perfectly except for the fact that we have both characters under the same umbrella and we can use them. But we haven't seen Jason in 4 years. Do we have enough momentum with Jason? He was starting to not make as much money. So go ahead and make another Jason film.
I wish they wouldn't have. That's where I'm at.
Same.
Look, Lance, it sucks, man. It sucks. It sucks. This movie just makes me want to. It just looks lazy. It reeks of laziness, and it also reeks of a cash grab. And I will say this: I've said it before. I will say it again. The horror community is not stupid. We know when you're trying to just take our money. And yeah, sometimes we're just going to give it to you knowing that you want it. But this reeks of a cash grab. And you just said it. It is actually a cash grab. It's 100% that. We don't have a script for Freddy versus Jason. You were completely acquired just so that we can make our Freddy versus Jason movie, but Wes ain't done with his Nightmare installment, so let's just put together this piece of shit and try to see what we can churn out. And they did, and I mean, it made some money.
A little, yeah, less than before. Again, a small budget, but it was just kind of like, well, we got to get Jason out there. Again, we've talked about this a lot. It happened with Leatherface a lot, like, well, shit, we got the rights for another year. We better put out a movie before we lose the rights kind of a thing. So
yes.
It's like, well, we have Jason. Horror movies. I've talked about this before. This is an awkward time. I think the transition between the 80s and 90s style-wise for horror movies in general, is kind of awkward. I'm not saying there's not great gems. There's not amazing movies in that time. I'm saying the transition between the eras, 80s and 90s, is awkward.
It's not a clean cut. It's not it's not a very smooth transition.
Yeah. And that's where this movie kind of lies. And horror films in general kind of like, I mean, I think Pet Sematary kind of came out like 91.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about
Number 2,
that.
I believe the sequel came out in that time. So like I said, there's gems, but it's just this kind of like, where are we? Like,
but you can put out something fantastic and great that does kind of toe the line or kind of dip its toes in both sides of the decade. Remember, we don't know that it's not, it's 1990. Got to change our whole wardrobe. Got to change our whole style. You know, a lot of the 80s is bleeding over still. So, I do think that this movie has a lot more 90s feel to it, but it just looks cheaply shot. And that's a bummer because it is a New Line film. It has accomplished well enough good character and leading actors. It has what it needs to make a good film as far as like the acting capability.
There's just no proper story or nothing that actually makes sense. I mean, if you watch this movie, I was watching it the other night. I'm like, what in the hell is happening? Like, how is this in your head that this is okay from one scene to the next? It's just so convoluted.
It seems like a bunch of scenes were put together on paper, and then a lot of improv. Like there are some, like, admittedly for some of the filmmakers, or like some, like at least the interview with Stephen Williams as Creighton Duke. It's like it was just him riffing, trying to make the other people break on set. That does not a good horror movie, a good Friday the 13th movie make.
Well, and describe Steve Williams to us right now, like his character as Creighton Duke.
He's basically Quint. Okay. Do you see it? I mean, look at the things he says. He says, he gives this person the fee. There's no way you're going to be able to kill this person. I'm the only one that knows how to kill it. And if you give me my fee, you get the head, the tail, the whole thing.
Yeah.
You give me my fee, you get the head, the mask, the machete, the whole thing. And it's just, I don't know, man. It feels like a lot of like super fans or fans enough of the genre made choices and calls on this movie that were like, that would be funny to us.
Yeah.
That's cool in a way if you're making it for all your friends who know your humor and share that sense of humor with you. Yeah.
So like Steve Williams is this dude that's like, I mean, he's dressed like a cowboy, which was a part of Steve Williams' contract. He put that in there himself. Like,
yes.
I'll take the role of Creighton so long as I can be he can be dressed as a cowboy. The backstory apparently is that he has always wanted to hunt Jason, but he became a bounty hunter to like fund his way into finding Jason, basically, because he has a backstory of. But we never get that in the movie. We don't know any of that. All we know is that there's this mysterious dude in the movie that wants Jason and seems to know everything about him and is going to hunt him down.
Now, separately, Creighton Duke as a character is fun.
He's fun.
He's fun. He's like he's expertly acted. I just think he would be cool. Like if you put him in a situation with. Hell, you put him on the boat and you did like a reimagining of Jaws or something like that. Like that would be kind of fun. Or if he was the mysterious man in black in Halloween 5 or I don't know.
God, here we go. His character was originally slated to be Tommy Jarvis. Yet again, didn't have the rights to Tommy Jarvis. All we have the rights to is Jason.
That's horse shit, Lance, because Victor Miller did not come up with Tommy Jarvis.
But Paramount only gave the rights away to Jason and I believe Crystal Lake. I believe. So that's all that New Line has to work with are those two things, essentially. I've seen and heard weaker installments in the franchise have started to come around, and people have been looking at them through different lenses and be like, well, at least they were ambitious. Well, at least they tried something. Yada, yada, yada. I don't see the ambition here. I see a lot of ambition.
Maybe you just call it something else. How's that?
Yeah.
And they did. They called it Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday. But like okay. Let me just really quick backtrack and talk about the trailer for this movie. So if you've watched this movie, you know that you don't get hockey mask wearing Jason for the majority. You just don't. I said it in the Pina Colada that the essence of Jason infects different people. So Jason is there, but he's being portrayed and or killing folks by other people inhabiting the essence of Jason. So when you see the trailer for this movie, you see hockey mask wearing Jason, and I'll get into the to the choice of
look,
that.
yes.
Yes, I'll get into that here in a little bit.
Yes.
But you see the trailer's like, oh dang, this is going to be another badass Jason movie, and you got. They're showing FBI agents repelling. They show like a demon at one point. You're like, what the fuck was that? And all these other cool things. You're like, okay, cool, Jason. Well, all they did was take clips of Jason from the opening scene and made a full trailer for it.
Right.
How misleading. Say what you want about the Halloween 3 trailer. Yes, they didn't tell you that Michael wasn't in it, but they didn't tell you that Michael was in it either, right?
Yes,
they just said
true. Right.
Halloween 3, the season of the witch. Come see it, right?
Yeah.
Well, this one, they show Jason start to finish of the trailer and beautifully cut. Like, holy crap. That was like, wow, that's going to be a full Friday movie. Jason looks fucked up. Like, I'm going to go watch it. Yeah. And then you get to the movie and you're like, holy shit. The trailer was just the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the movie.
I'd say about 5, actually. I mean, if you think about how fast that scene actually goes, and the setup for that scene is random girl, good looking girl.
Yes. Smoke show for real.
Travels up to Camp Crystal Lake, which is abandoned. Starts just kind of living in the quarters kind of a thing. Like, she takes a bath immediately.
The movie starts off, Lance, really like
Friday the 13th.
Huh.
Yeah, like it's kind of its own thing because it's one person kind of exploring an abandoned camp.
Yep.
You're like, why is she here?
Exactly.
She's intriguing.
She's got a New York Mets hat. That's all we know about her. And obviously, like, she doesn't look terrible. And I was like, huh. And then she's normal conventions of a Friday movie.
Yeah.
She's walking through the cabin, turns on the light explodes. She goes to get extra lights from the shed door closes. You're like, all right, I know it's an old trope, but I dig it. And she goes in, she sets up to take a shower. She gets naked. You're like, all the boxes are being checked. And then the lights go out. And then here's Jason. Messed up. He's got the mask is like glued to his face and his face is like overcoming the mask. It looks like someone put like a thumbtack in the middle of a bell pepper. There's my second bell pepper reference, and just turned the bell pepper in the microwave and just turned it on, and the bell pepper's about to blow up, but the pin, the thumbtack, that's the mask. Anyway, he takes a hack at her and she falls, and then there's a pursuit. And you're like, yes. I don't know where this is going, but actually I do know where it's going because it's a Friday the 13th movie. And there she goes. He's about to get her, and he's doing his classic teleportation thing where he's here, he's there, and he's about to land the final blow that's going to kill her. And all these spotlights start turning on. And it's like, tikkun, 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 tikkun. And even Jason's like, what the fuck is going on here? He starts looking around. He's like, why are all these lights? Then Lance's favorite part.
I love this part.
This girl does a beautiful.
All she's in is a towel, by the way. She's about to take a bath. All
Yes.
she's been running in is a towel.
Yes, and that towel is glued on, and it's not moving. She's got a minor wound when she fell after Jason took a hack at her.
Right. And remember, she's like the victim. She's running away.
Right.
She's like good looking, classic Friday the 13th girl. And then all of a sudden, all this setup has happened, and she just
She does
books it and does the perfect stunt flip
yes.
head first.
She flips right over it's just like a mound, like a sheet, a black sheet is covering something. And you realize as soon as she does this perfect somersault combat flip.
It's a very 90s stunt.
Exactly.
You know,
it's just like, she
Yeah.
just like flies out, and under the sheet is the FBI, one of the FBI agents, and they all just like, go, open fire. And they start shooting Jason. And Jason is you're like, oh, I've seen this. It ain't gonna work, y'all. They've shot him before. And they're shooting, and Jason's taking it. I'll circle back. Pin in right now. And they're like, incoming, and it's supposed to be apparently a drone. I don't know, a bomb hits him and explodes him, and Jason is destroyed into a million pieces, or at least 10, and that's
a million pieces in this shot, 10 pieces in the next shot.
right when they get to so Jason has been defeated, and it is shown that the girl was a plant, an FBI agent who was supposed to, what a job, by the way. Right. We need someone to get Jason out of the cabin. Oh, damn it. Shit. Fine. So she gets Jason out, and then obviously, Jason gets destroyed. And in the bushes, we see Creighton Duke being like, I don't think so. And we're like, what don't you think? Right? Well, that's how the movie opens. You're like, oh, they destroyed Jason already? Okay. Remember the pin? Coming back. Jason is making all the noises. Did you?
Yes.
Oh, he's like, ow. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's like growling and huffing and puffing. I immediately like, who is this? Like, this isn't Jason.
Exactly. I'm like, it seems like that was added in post because, like, I don't know that Kane would have signed off on that.
There's a lot in this movie. I'm like, there's no way Kane thought that was
exactly
a thing. Like, there's no way he would have acted that.
I would love to meet him at a convention, just ask him. It's like, what was that? Just like, what was that about?
Well, it comes into play later because everyone's growling like a freaking lion. The rest of the movie, whoever's been possessed by Jason has this weird lion growl.
Especially George Washington Duke. Good time to put some muscle on this muscle.
So George Washington Duke is the
first coroner. Well, the coroner.
The main coroner.
Yeah,
There's like
coroner.
an assistant, but the main coroner does his little autopsy, is making a recording, finds Jason's heart full of black goo.
The most awkward.
Is the black goo the same black goo from Black Christmas 2019?
Yes. Remember, it possesses you. Viscous.
That's
this
right.
Viscous bile.
Goo.
See, folks,
interesting.
We tie it all together.
Go watch our episode, Black Christmas 2019. Or listen.
You listen to it. You don't have to watch the movie. So here we are, folks. We have been bamboozled, Lance. We've been run amok. We have been thwarted. We, the audience, the collective we, are sitting in the theaters and we're just like, why did you do this? This was... just like Halloween 2 and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, rather.
Yes.
The hospital is so fun. It's like, ooh, this is going to be gritty. It's going to be good. And then it was all a fucking dream.
Yep.
So in here, you're like, oh, this is going to be cool. All right. I see it. And then they blow Jason up and you're like, wait, what?
5 minutes in? What did I pay for?
So you don't get any... We're like now 30 minutes in. You don't see Hockey Mask. 40 minutes in. You don't see Hockey Mask, folks,
no.
Except in like minor reflections for anyone who's being possessed. Apparently, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you're being possessed by the essence of Jason, you see yourself wearing a hockey mask.
Sure.
And hockey pants.
I'm not wearing hockey pants. So we bite into the heart of Jason, which is disgusting and fun gore. It's edible. It's all edible.
Great.
And now we're possessed by Jason, and we pass that on. How do we pass that on?
A la Puppet Master?
A scene popped up in my head from this movie, and I just was like, oh, yeah, the erotic shaving scene. I forget. Yeah, I got to get to that.
Oh, no, I don't.
That's a thing.
It is apparently revealed later by Creighton Duke, who is the only one that knows how to kill Jason. Yeah, if you want to know, I'll tell you how to do it. You can't. No, I'm the one that knows.
Right.
And then, well, I don't have it. Well, how do I get it? How do I get the information, Mr. Duke? $50,000. I don't have money. Okay, let me break your finger.
Yes. Twice, wasn't it?
What? Ha! 50 grand or let me break your finger. Well, I don't have 50 grand, so I guess break my finger twice. Yeah.
What is he asking? Like, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready?
Are you sure you're ready?
Yeah. Are you sure you're ready?
I just don't understand what the point of that is. It's like, okay, he's like, I got to test to see if you are willing to pay the ultimate price of breaking your phalanges.
So, okay.
Oh, but also it is revealed that the folks, Diosito de mi vida, the people who are infected by Jason, it is only a temporary infection.
Right.
Because the essence, the evil of Jason is so evil, it's so polluted, it is so toxic that you cannot hang on to it for very long. You have to pass it on.
When you're possessed by Jason, are you essentially Jason? Or are you yourself just with the evil of Jason inside of you?
You're Jason and you're also a barber.
I'm so glad you're getting to that. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It also, again, folks, it feels, and Crystal Lake Memories does do a lot of like interviews with the people who were involved in this movie, and it is pretty much, I think, spot on with the let's see what's funny, let's see what's weird and quirky, and let's do it. And where you traditionally would see a lot of naked women in precarious positions, they were replaced with men in those positions and things of that nature. But yeah, Jason's essence has to be passed on via that viscous black goo that has materialized within yourself as a slug.
Huge parasite?
It's like a gargajo, which is like a loogie. A big loogie.
Okay.
It's just a huge black, you need to drink water loogie.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I didn't write this shit.
I was trying to put it together. We got to go back to the barber joke because we didn't even explain it. There's an entire homoerotic shaving scene with one of the possessed.
There's no reason to, first of all, tie this person down with leather straps.
That's what I'm saying is if you're possessed by Jason and one of the people that are possessed by Jason later on definitely just acts like Jason, possessed,
yes,
like the version of Jason. They don't speak. They just have this kind of distant stare and they kill. But for one scene, somebody possessed by Jason ties somebody down.
Yes.
It's a man and he's naked, strapped down. Mm-hmm. He starts sharpening his razor.
He's got a straight edge.
That's right, on the leather.
Uh-huh.
And puts shaving cream on some. Like, did Jason ever do any of this? He wasn't.
I'm just like, if you're Jason and you're like, oh, I have to shave this person before I infect them. Okay, fine. I'll believe that for 2 seconds, Jason, that you need to shave somebody down, shave their mustache, shave their beard before you infect them. Yet, what a sweet, evil person to use the shaving cream. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're like, I have to shave you.
Was that a hot towel that he put over his face too? That's pretty relaxing. Just like
full service.
Yeah.
Full service Jason Voorhees, hot towel barber, service. Look, man, there are a lot of like weird choices in this movie, but we learn very quickly that there are at least two women that have there's a more vested interest in these women, particularly. One we meet right away, Diana, and she's talking on the phone to her daughter, who's Jessica. Well, the second person to get infected by Jason is the sheriff of the town. So as you can see, folks, there's like a thing where it's like, oh, it's the sheriff. He's walking to me. Fine. I'm not going to like lose my mind and be like, hey, sheriff, how's it going? But the sheriff is definitely on a mission and he's trying to, there's no extra rhyme or reason why they pick who they pick to get infected, except this one is like, oh, the sheriff is trying to infect this woman, Diana. Why? The questions. Maybe Diana is a little bit more special than others. Yeah, she is. Diana Voorhees, apparently. This is Jason's sister. What? Jason had a sister? Yeah, barf.
God.
It is revealed, folks, now in this movie that there is an incredible backstory that Jason had siblings and Jason can only live again after being blown up by possessing a Voorhees. So he tries to possess his sister Diana, but in the process, while she's almost going to be possessed, she gets killed. So now Jason is like, dang, I gotta look for somebody else. Who else is related to me? Well, Diana had a daughter. So now Jason's on the lookout or on the hunt for her.
I'm exhausted just from...
You're exhausted.
All that. You had to say it. That was always an original concept. I can kind of get into the concepts for this film before. Yes. One was, it was always like somebody's going to bite into Jason's heart, essentially, but it took place back on Camp Crystal Lake.
Okay.
And there's an apparent laboratory now at Camp Crystal Lake. Jason wakes up in the laboratory on Camp Crystal Lake and watches his heart be taken out, and he's still alive. He watches the heart. Danny's falling asleep. Here we go. And it turns out the person that bites into this heart is actually named Elias Voorhees.
His father.
Technically, this time around is his brother, his long-lost evil brother.
Oh, Elias Voorhees was at the end of Jason Lives, right? Or it was at the end of, I think, 5.
Alluded to.
Yeah, like the idea.
And then in the comics, I think it switched and it became his dad. I don't even fucking know. But that's, that was supposed to be him. And then he goes on a killing rampage, becomes the new Jason. Instead, we got what we got, which is this bizarre movie that we're trying to describe.
So some of the things that we can hold on to dear to get us through this movie. Stephen Williams' performance, because that's just fun.
Yeah, he's the character you take out of this.
Yeah.
The one you keep.
But you got Kane Hodder, who's back as Jason, still doing when he can be Jason, his breathing, his lumbering, his iconic stuff. I also do want to give a shout out to Stephen in this movie, because when he's got his moments, especially the comedic moments, with the other deputy, and when he's fighting and stuff like that, they're nice. They're kind of cool. He's a good actor.
There's some comedy definitely within those characters,
and it lands. But not much can be salvaged. Honestly, I'm going to be very honest, folks. I can't salvage a lot from this film. I think it's such a far departure from the Friday the 13th franchise. This whole supernatural thing of a slug and a demon that is the essence of evil that is Jason. No. There's only one slasher that is the essence of evil, that is pure evil, and it is not Jason Voorhees, it is Leprechaun. No, it is.
Oh my God, how do you get Leprechaun in every episode?
Because I can. It is Michael Myers. So we're left with a lot of, okay, well, we'll take it at face value. It's an interesting, to put it at least as
here's how
complimentary as possible, I guess.
Here's how convoluted the story is. The writer, director added in, but nobody knows the actual backstory, but added in from the Evil Dead, the Necronomicon.
The
Necronomicon
makes
Thank you.
An appearance in this movie.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. There's a House of Voorhees in this.
Yes, apparently there was this whole relic infested Voorhees house that I guess came after all these siblings and cousins and everyone who was a part of this Voorhees lineage frequented this summer house apparently. Sure. But one of the cool things is that there's a crate.
Oh yeah.
There's a crate in the basement of the Voorhees house that is the crate from Creepshow.
Yeah. The Necronomicon was another piece of backstory that wasn't told to us.
Okay.
And that was that Pamela Voorhees read from it and resurrected Jason. But again, we have no rights to Evil Dead. We had no rights to even have the book in there, but it is. So there was like the hopes that down the line there would be some Evil Dead crossover.
Mm-hmm.
But none of this was approved. Nobody got paid for it properly. So it's just in there.
Well, that's that. I don't look, let's just continue going with this film. As you know, as we've already said, there is this idea that Jason is now being transferred from body to body in his search to possess a Voorhees relative. The mother, Diana Voorhees, which is his sister, has been killed. And so Jason is now looking for the daughter, who is attached to Stephen, as they were at least at one point lovers, and they have a baby. So now if he doesn't get Jessica, he at least has the baby as well. So all that, run and fight against time while peppering in that Creighton Duke is the one that's going to help them. And you're thinking, okay, well, this is easy enough. Let's just get Jason in a spot where we can all kill him and it'll be good to go. We'll just do it again. No, apparently to kill him, Voorhees also has to kill him. So she can resurrect him and she can kill him too. Well, that's fantastic. So what do you need, Lance, to do that?
Let's see. What do you need? Possibly a gun? No.
Not a gun?
A machete?
Not a machete.
How about let's see, a mysterious dagger?
So this dagger, what does it look like? Is it just like a dagger you could keep in your boot?
No, it's got to have some sort of history look to it, at least.
And can you see this dagger?
Sure.
Can anyone see this dagger?
Not just anyone.
Oh.
No, who can see it?
Only a Voorhees apparently can make this dagger.
It's the Voorhees dagger?
It's the Daghees. The
Voragis.
The Voragis. Yes. This dagger that apparently Creighton Duke's been holding around this whole time and making his statements, just hands it to Jessica. Jessica grabs it and it turns into a massive dagger with a huge handle. It is not functional. Sorry.
No.
It just looks like the top of a Maker's Mark. That melted wax.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like at its handle.
It's just a huge letter opener, basically. Yeah, so mystical.
It's so mysterical is what we're all dealing with.
It's a mysterious dagger that only the Voorhees. It's just, I don't know. What are we doing?
There is something really fun, though, and nice about one of the actors in here. Leslie Jordan is in this movie. And if anyone was doing what I was doing during the pandemic, I was glued to my phone watching Leslie Jordan videos where he would just chime in with his little tidbits and whatnots. And he is obviously a younger Leslie Jordan here, but oh God, he is so funny. And I love those videos. Well, shit. What are y'all doing? Y'all trying to kill Jason? Well, I think just take him out of this diner and that'll be fine. Why is Jason so mad? Is it because he has one eye? I don't know. I'll just try and come up with something.
That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have much else about this movie. If anyone else could have played Creighton Duke, who would you pick? Think horror royalty.
Sean Astin.
What?
Vincent Price would have been cool if, obviously there's no way at age
possible. Like somebody that may have actually auditioned for this.
What about Lance Henriksen?
That would have been fun.
That would have been cool.
Yep.
No. Who am I not thinking of?
Well.
Oh wait. Bruce Campbell.
Could have been fun.
That would have been fun. Not Robert Englund. No way. No way.
No. Well, I'll talk about the director a little bit and his
Adam Marcus.
drama.
Okay. Well.
So he's a very contradictory element into this. So the reason that we had a lot more male nudity in this is because he came out and said the past Friday the 13th movies are so sexist. There's so many naked women. Why aren't there any naked men? That's why there's more of a balance in this movie. Yet he wanted his main star to be naked in a shower scene that she did not agree to.
Mm-hmm.
Turned into a big ordeal.
Okay.
So much to the fact that she left the set. I'm talking about Keenan.
I'm playing Jessica, right?
Keegan, yes. Carrie Keegan. Left the set, talked to her agent, said, I'm not going back. She ends up going back once he's gone. Sean S. Cunningham has to finish the shoot as director. One thing that he did, again, sounds like a piece of shit, but he followed George A. Romero's lead in having a strong hero lead that was black.
Okay.
Black man. So that was what we were going to cast.
Okay.
So who auditioned for it? Tony Todd actually auditioned for it.
Damn.
Post Candyman, first Candyman was 1992.
That would have been a lot of fun.
I think he would have knocked it out of the park as well. We got a great version of this character, and I'm totally happy with. I guess I have to say I'm happy with what we got.
Sure. He
would have been a nice other horror surprise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tony Todd.
Stephen Williams does a great job. It is dog shit of a script. It is, as I said, shit going through a spaghetti strainer in the middle of a desert, honestly at high noon, for real though.
Yeah.
I don't know. think I have my ear to the ground with when people are coming around for certain things and things of that nature. Not that it would affect me otherwise, because I know some folks have been coming around for Friday 13th Part 5, and that's not me. So what I guess I'm saying here is that I have not seen anyone say anything redeeming about this movie as far as plot wise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It did, however, the character who plays Steven reprised his role sort of, or was involved in the Friday the 13th TV series so that was kind of cool, sort of connection there. But folks, to say that this movie jumped the shark at the end, I mean, for real, it jumps the shark completely at the end. You have a full-on sperm demon of
Squealing
sperm demon that came out of the last body that Jason was inhabiting. And remember when I said, good God. I also have to mention there's a huge plot point in the sense of that there's this like shock DJ or not shock interviewer, kind of like Barry Sims. That's who Lance was portraying here in the beginning. He is on is kind of like hard copy. He's on the hunt and you know, trying to bring the story, and tries to change and affect the story by getting the corpse of Diana and bringing it to the House of Voorhees so that he can shoot his final episode there. Well, we think we've thwarted Jason. He's not going to infect Jessica, but when he... Good God. I can't believe I'm about to fucking say this. But when demon sperm Jason is in the basement, he finds a corpse of his sister, Diana Voorhees, and goes into her via in between her legs. And that's the type of crass bullshit we're talking about in this goddamn movie. And then Jason is reborn. Kane Hodder is back, which I don't know what the rules are. I'm being reincarnated, but I guess you also get to keep the same fucked up overalls and coveralls and shit, and your hair's all still busted up. Why wouldn't he be brand new Jason?
Why wouldn't he be the girl? Like, he possessed
Exactly.
everyone else. Why wouldn't he be resurrected as his sister?
Yeah.
No, he comes back full on boiled head Jason from the
Full
beginning.
on busted ass, pimple ass, tiny thumbtack of a mask ass.
He looks like a stress ball.
He does look like a stress ball. He also looks like when you had the Stretch Armstrong and you pulled it really, really far and it was like not able to return back to its stretchness. That's what his head looked like. He looks like one of those basketballs you won at the fair that lost its inflatable, like it lost its air 10 days after you came back to the house.
He looks like a piece of bubble gum that was lost at the fair for like 10 days.
He looks like the old cabbage that they throw out at the end of the day, but someone's like, oh shit, that's half price. I'll take it.
All right.
He looks like a pumpkin that threw up.
He looks like an inside out pumpkin.
Yes, he looks awful. Well, folks, as you could tell, we are definitely riffing at this point because Jason gets stabbed by Jessica Voorhees. He returns to hell. Yay, Jason's dead again, finally, and Jason goes to hell. And that's it, right?
He shoots off some flares from his chest into the night sky, and that's it. His mask is left behind into the dust. The dust settles. A nice little puppy comes, digs up the mask, runs away,
right?
And that's it.
There's nothing
Into
after
the
that?
sunset, into the dawn of the next day.
Oh, that's nice. There's not even one cool thing that happens in this movie at the end.
Nope, that's it. Until
right at the very end, the final shot you see is Jason's mask in the dirt and the hand and claw of Freddy Krueger reaching up from beneath the soil to pull it down as he laughs. And that's how the movie actually ends.
And Jason finally does actually go to hell.
Setting up what we all knew was being worked on, apparently, behind the scenes, Freddy versus Jason. And that's Jason Goes to Hell, folks.
Well, we did it.
I'm very impressed with how much we were able to squeeze out of this film. Is it worth the watch? remember, I've always said I look for redeeming things, and we've talked about the redeeming qualities, like Stephen Williams' performance. Leslie Jordan is hilarious, and you got some badass girls doing some flips over FBI agents. So there's some cool moments for sure.
Yeah.
That's all I got, though.
I try to watch this as like, okay, I'm going to put away the idea that this is in the Friday the 13th franchise. I'm going to try to put Jason away in my head. Is this a good 90s horror film? There's nothing redeemable about it. Like, you're probably gotten to this point. If you're listening still, you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? We're trying so hard to decode this film and all the backstory that we weren't told. And all, like, this wasn't a movie that was cut down because of gore or anything like that. This is just a bad, poorly put together film altogether.
It was a bad movie. The cover art was probably the only thing that got me excited when I saw that in the movie, in the video store. It was fire as a background with a metallic Jason mask with a dick coming through its
with a smiley face.
With a smiley face. It's smiling at me. It was like a worm coming through the hole. So it's like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but fine. It says Jason and it's a Friday 13th. So I'm going to check it out. And it is the least watched for me of the entire franchise. I watch 5 more than I do this.
Same here, actually. I kind of told you this before. I've never watched this movie all the way through, actually, but I've seen clips of it, like just passing by. It's been on TV or whatever, and not realizing what movie it was actually from. And then I watched the whole thing together and trying to, like, oh my goodness. I've tried in the past, but this was just jerwoof all over.
Yeah, that's, I'm done.
Hey, Danny, how many machetes do you give Jason Goes to Hell?
Jason Goes to Hell will get -2 machetes from me.
A big old do not watch. I kind of feel bad now that I've given Friday the 13th 5 no machetes, because this one is another 0 for me. I probably won't watch it again for a very, very, honestly, very long time. So I hope that y'all stuck with us. I hope even after listening to this episode that you come back.
Please. It gets a little better. But folks, we will never lead you astray like Kathleen did to the caretaker in Jason Lives. There's bringing it back to the fun days of the Friday 13th franchise. But we promised we would get through the entire franchise. We are fans of the franchise,
absolutely,
all good and bad, and we will bring you the God honest opinion of us, the Slashers Paradise, to make sure that we're keeping it correct. So if we honestly told you that, well, I like this movie, it's nice. No, that's horseshit.
Yeah.
So,
and we're not gatekeepers. We're not toxic. We're just giving you our opinion. Trying to have some fun with all these movies. But anyway, until next time, that's Danny. I'm Lance, reminding you to
lock your doors,
bolt your windows.
And, think of a little girl in a pink dress putting a hot dog through a donut.
And join us next time in our Slashers Paradise.
Nobody's going to touch that fucking ray of sunshine. Hey. Did you hear anything you like?
Thanks for listening to Slashers Paradise tonight. Did you know that you can watch our podcast?
Where?
YouTube.com. If you go to YouTube.com, look up Slashers Paradise, you'll find the Dead Candy page. And there you can see all of our podcasts, as well as a few shorts that Danny and I have put out. While you're there, please subscribe.
And while you are listening here, go ahead and find yourself that rate and review button. 5 stars is what we would love for you guys to give us. And you know what? If you can't think of anything to say in the review, why don't you go ahead and put some recommendations and or requests of horror movies that you would love for us to talk about.
If you'd like to find out more information about Slashers Paradise or Dead Candy, the producer of our show, you can head over to facebook.com/deadcandyfix. That's DED Candy Fix. Here's to you guys.
This is Slashers Paradise. Sorry, I had to work that in.
And I'm going to drink on that.